After all that planning, it is time to get sewing, and I am so excited to start designing and creating our very first miniature bunny doll for our Jane Austen play set. I have a few projects that I'm working on right now, a couple patterns that I'm still editing and that haven't been published yet. One is for a little rattle and one is for a larger doll. It's a little bit easier instead of just making the pieces from scratch, it's a little bit easier to take the pieces from my PS work and adjust them into the new design that I have. So I took in these other patterns that I have already created, use them as a starting off point. So actually, when I first started, the head and the body for the bunny was really just the shape of this rattle that I've been working on. And then I added arms and legs for my doll pattern, and I just shrunk everything down, and I sewed it together to see what would happen. It actually wasn't so bad, but that first doll that came out, the proportions were a little bit funny. I felt like the arms were definitely, well, the arms and the legs were too big. The legs especially, and the legs kind of came out at a funny angle. I wanted them to hang straight down. So this is the point where I just have to make small adjustments and re-sew it to see how they go, and then adjust and sew and adjust and sew. I always end up with just piles of toys by the time I'm done, and none of them are exactly how I want them to look, but they're all okay enough that I don't feel like I need to throw them away or reuse the pieces for something else. So that's why all of the kids I know love me, because I'm just always trying to get rid of toys. I'm always giving away toys. It's kind of ridiculous. I kept trying to play with the size of the arms and the legs. It's hard because when you're working this small, you don't want to make them so small that it's impossible to work with. But at the same time, you want them to be delicate and adorable. So it's just that balancing act that you're always doing. I definitely found that having a pair of hemostats on hand made working with those tiny arms and legs so much more doable. I actually couldn't find my smaller pair. I only had a huge pair of hemostats on hand, and even those helped a lot. I definitely need to go and find a smaller pair as I continue this project. I know that I have them somewhere in my sewing room. I'm just not sure where right now. But I would definitely, if you're working with small pieces, I would definitely recommend getting a pair of these. I made some adjustments and I re-sewed it and it didn't look right. So I finally decided that I needed to make some larger adjustments. I couldn't just do the rattle pattern and be lazy about things. So I went ahead and made some specific body patterns, and that ended up a lot better. The legs ended up hanging the way that I wanted to, which is a lot cuter. I think it's going to be a lot cuter under a dress so that they'll hang out just right at the bottom of a cute little Jane Austen gown. So I think that is going to work really great. I'm really happy with how this little bunny turned out. The bunny is slightly larger than a standard dollhouse size doll, but still close enough to the size that I could get away with using dollhouse furniture and accessories with the doll, and that was really my main goal. I think that you could use this bunny inside a dollhouse and it would be fine. The scale wouldn't be so ridiculously off, and by having it just a touch bigger than the standard doll, it does keep those pieces a little bit more reasonable to work with. The arms and legs are delicate enough, but they were still okay to work with. I know that those of you who don't like working with small pieces are going to look at this and think I'm ridiculous for saying that, but they were okay with the hemostats. I was okay working with them. I never got super frustrated. I think that the style of it is cute. I'm happy with how the legs turned out. I know that was kind of my main concern while I was working on this pattern, was getting those legs to hang right, and I'm happy with how that turned out. So now it's time to start thinking about some adorable Regency era gowns that this bunny would wear. And the main question is, we know what Regency era people wore, but what did Regency era bunnies wear? I'm gonna have to start thinking about that. If you want to make your own bunny doll, or if you are very ambitious and you want to sew along with the entire Jane Austen Play Set that I will be making in this video series, all of our patterns will be available for free on sweetbarsisters.com, and the instructions will come in the form of video tutorials here on YouTube. Our next video will be a step-by-step tutorial to make your very own dollhouse-sized bunny. I love working on projects with other crafters, and I love it that you are coming on this little project journey with me. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will be sure to get all of the updates on this and all of my upcoming projects.